Hi guys, thanks for tuning into Guru Beauty. This is Jodie and I hope you're having a great day. Wanted to do a tutorial for you today featuring a new item that I featured on a recent haul. This is the Bella Pierre Shimmer 9 Stack, as they call it, in apparently what is their most popular colour, and that is Bella. So Bella features 9 different shimmer 100% mica pigments. I'm not affiliated with this company at all and am very new to discovering it. So I did pick this up at a stall in a shopping mall, you know, the ones with the pushy salespeople who work on commission. I would recommend going online though. You can find better deals online. In Australia this was just on sale. Thank you Miss Goddess in training for the tip. These were on sale for I think around 35 Australian dollars on buyinvite.com.au, buy being B-U-Y, but you can get these sort of on eBay for about $50 US. So you can pick them up for less than what you'd pay at the stand for them. And I just wanted to give you a tutorial on them. Now the lady at the stand showed me several ways to use this product, so I'll just give you a quick run through of that and what she showed me. Basically, there's, you know, like any minerals, I think there's different ways that you can apply these products. So the first way, I'm just going to use a cotton tip to show you this product. The first way is just dry. So I'm going to just tap my cotton tip into that pigment and show you on my hand. So putting it on dry gives you just a really light shimmer. Then you can see here I've applied actually Painterly Paint Pot. You can see here I've just put it on over a base. It looks pretty similar to the dry, but you can build it up a little bit more on the base. Now when I actually rub that in, just going to rub it into the base with this cotton tip, it actually makes the colour go, I think you can see the difference here, but there's a colour that remains, probably works better with a darker colour. There's a colour that remains, but it's not as sort of shimmery. So you can just sort of rub it in to a pigment. And then the last way that you can apply this is wet. So I've just wet my Q-tip, I've dipped it into my pigment. You get, you pick up quite a lot that way. And then on my hand, you can see the difference that that makes. So that would be a perfect liner. It's so heavily pigmented, and that's, you know, one color. You've got 9 in this stack. You can obviously get a nice shimmery effect on its own, rub it into a pigment for a more sort of matte effect that's not quite as sparkly, or use it as either, you know, a foiling technique, putting it on wet, or using it as a liner. And obviously with Bella Pierre there's many other ways that you can use pigments other than just on the eyes as an eye color, and Bella Pierre sells things like clear nail polish that you can mix your various pigments with, clear lip gloss that you can mix your pigments with, obviously as a liner as well, even as a mascara I think. So you can go on their website and get different ideas. I don't know if it's, you know, really different to any other pigment that's out there, but I really like the colors. I really like the way they come in a nice stack with 9 coordinating colors, and it's at a pretty good price that compares especially very favorably to most of the mineral brands that I see out and about here in Australia. So I'm going to start with I'm going to use a color from that stack, but I'm going to start with the Benefit Creaseless Cream Creaseless Cream Shadow Liner in Skinny Jeans, and that is just a sort of, you can see, a grey. So I'm just using a Sigma SS217 or E25, one of the travel ones that come free when you purchase things from them. Just dipping that into the pot, and I'm going to put that on each lid. I have already applied my Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I apply that every day regardless of whether I'm using a colour base, a paint pot, whatever over the top. My Too Faced Shadow Insurance is an everyday product. Okay, now that I've got that all sort of blended in, somewhat, I'm actually just going to go in with my matte highlight, the Wet n Wild Colour Icon in Brule, the eyeshadow single, and I'm just putting that on my Sigma E45 tapered eye brush, small tapered blending brush, and I'm going to put that here on the brow bone and just in the inner corner here. on each side. Okay, now that I've applied that sort of matte highlight on the brow bone and the inner corner, I'm going to do what I've done in a previous tutorial and just go in with a bit of a contour color before I actually hit the lid. So I'm using a NARS mini that I've received, I think, in a holiday set or something like that. NARS Laguna bronzer, just as a crease color. So to apply that Laguna in the contour, I'm going to go in with an ID Bare Essentials brush. There we go, designed for pigments. It's their contour shadow brush. Just going to dip that into the NARS, one side, tap it off, and just apply that into the crease. So it is going over the cream color base that I have put down. This is just going to make it easier for me to blend out this area at the end without dragging too much of the lid colour up by putting this down first. I think it's a good time to bring up the fact that there are no rules in applying makeup. You know, you watch enough tutorials and enough people do their own way of putting on makeup, and some people start with highlighter, some people start with the lid, or they'll end with highlighter. Some people do their crease first before their lid, using all different kinds of mediums and textures. There are no rules. The more practice you get, the more you realize what's going to work for you. And so I try and mix it up a little bit just to give you guys sort of ideas. Anyone who's not as experienced with makeup, just mix it up, experiment. There are absolutely no rules. Do it your way. So now that I've applied that NARS Laguna into the crease, that's just going to try and help to neutralize what I'm about to do on the eyes. So now it's time to apply a lid color, and from the top of the stack I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 4th color down, and this is the color in the stack that I showed that reminds me of the sort of MAC Club eyeshadow dupe, or even their sort of blue-brown pigment, very similar to that. Don't know how well that's going to come up, but there's a close-up of it, and you can see it's a reddy brown base with like a bluey, greeny duochrome to it. So I'm going to go in with the same brush, and I'm going to apply this dry, and let's see how that comes out. So I'm just tapping off my brush to try and avoid as much fallout as I can. And I'm just tapping that colour on the lid. So that gives you an idea of what the colour looks like, at least over the cream colour base that I used today. I'm going to actually do the other side with a wet brush, just to show you the difference that you can make when you apply these mineral pigments in different ways. So I've wet my brush, just dabbing it off on my hand so that it's just damp and not too wet. I've dipped it into my pigment, and with my handy mirror close by, just using a dabbing motion to deposit that colour onto the lid. Don't want to go all the way up to the crease. It's giving you an idea of the colour and how it applies again over a grey base. You find that if you put on like a black colour base first, or even a black gel eyeliner first, this colour comes out so much more vibrant, and that green blue really peeks through that black dark background. Okay, and I'm actually going to wet my brush and do that to the other side now, so that this is something I can step out with today. Okay, just using a fan brush to get rid of any fallout. So I've laid the wet pigment down on my lids, and I'm just going to finish blending that out now. Using a dry brush that I applied Laguna with, just sort of re-blending what I did with the Laguna, just to get a bit of a transition between the two. Wipe that off. and then I'm going to use the top colour from the stack there. It's like a golden light colour. Using my dry brush, just because I don't want it to be too out there, because it's daytime. I'm just going to add that to the inner corner. Okay, and then I'm just going to darken up my outer V. I'm going to use Max Carbon to do that. I do have a matte black pigment in that stack, but I just want it to be a little bit subtle. And I know carbon, so for a daytime look, just going to go in with that. Other side. And I am getting a bit of fallout here as I sort of move the brush like that on my eyelid, but just keep your fan brush handy, and of course do your concealer after you do your eye look with these. I'm just going in one more time with Laguna. Okay, and today I'm going to use a Prestige Total Intensity eyeliner. This is in the colour Bold Brown, and I'm going to line my, just going to give that a quick sharpen. I'm going to line my waterline and tightline with that. Just making sure on the waterline here that I'm getting between the lashes. Since I'm now with what's left on my wet brush, just going to blend out the lower lash line here. To deposit, hopefully what's left is some of that warm brown colour. Not much of that duochrome left here on the colour. I'm going to go in today with a new mascara using the L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes. Okay, so I've applied my mascara. That's the first time I've used the L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes, and I really like it. It is something quite dramatic, but it also does curl the lashes quite a bit. I think I lost a little bit too much off the lids when I blended out the pigment with my Laguna. So I'm just going to go back in with this wet brush and see if I can just get that pigment colour back a little, just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, so you can see there that I've just gone over the lid just to get that little bit of glow back from the duochrome of that pigment. I'm just going to finish off with powder, contour, blush, all that stuff, hair, and give you the finished look. Okay, and just before I do finish up, I wanted to show you some swatches that I did of that one colour, that one that reminds me of MAC Club or the MAC Blue Brown pigment that I did apply on my lid. So look at these 5 swatches here. This is all with the one pigment. So this one here is just how it went on with a dry brush on my hand. Nothing underneath, just as it is, and you can see a lot, it's very light on, even the shimmer is very light on, not much of the base color. Then when I applied it over a base, you get a lot more pigmented color, so that red-brown base with the duochrome showing through. Then when I rubbed it into the base, you can see the matte base red-brown color comes through. That would be really pretty on the lid with a darker crease color. Then I put it over the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eyeliner pencil in 0, so a black liner. Put that over dry, put the pigment over dry, I should say. That's how it's going to come out over the black. And then lastly, with a wet brush. That is the very same pigment as that and that, just with a wet brush. Nothing underneath, just water. So isn't that amazing? I thought that would be really interesting for you guys, just to show you the versatility of one of these colors. That is the from the Bella Stack. Thought that might help you just sort of see what the pigments can do and how versatile they are depending on how you use them and what you use them with. So we'll be right back for the finished look. Okay guys, here I am back with the finished look. So I actually used the Eve Pearl Salmon Concealer under my eyes with some Bare Minerals Multitasking Well Rested. Then I used the Makeup Forever Professional HD Powder. I feel like this got a real hit in the media with that whole white cast, Eva Longoria, Nicole Kidman thing. You really don't hear about it that much anymore. But the Makeup Forever High Definition Powder is awesome. If you're not expecting flash photography, this is a great setting powder. It smooths out the finish and sets your makeup really nicely. So I would thoroughly recommend that Makeup Forever, not for flash photography but for everything else. And then I actually just used the WonderWoman MAC Pink Power Mineralize SkinFinish, and this is a multi-use product. Here you can see the bronzer, the blush and the highlight, and that's what I used on my cheeks today. And then I finished off my lips with some Revlon products. I've got the Revlon Colorburst lipstick in blush. And then to top off that lipstick, I've got the Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in Lilac Pastelle. So I hope that you enjoyed that tutorial today. Have a beautiful day and we'll see you again really soon. Bye.